today's video is part of the back to school uni series that I'm hoping to do this year. Here I'll be specifically talking about university, how to prepare if you're a first year student, but this could apply if you're a second or third or fourth like me this year, because you still forget about the academic year over the summer. Maybe if you're starting a new school, some of these things can also apply for sixth form, for high school, general advice, I guess. Okay, so how to prepare for university or school. I think the first thing is get all your supplies ready. Most people do anyway. You might leave it to the last minute, or you might forget about something, so my advice would be just to double check that you have all the things that you need. Of course, it's fine if you leave your shopping to the later date, like let's say September, but just keep in mind like the things that you need. Another piece of advice is to clean out your room. Obviously for a new academic year it's good to start fresh, and that would also mean your room or your desk, or you might decide to like do a clear out and get rid of half the things you own. You might decide to change up how you're going to study this year, so again, clean your room so that you're, in your mind at least, you know that your room is clean. And if you're moving out for university, then again, make sure you have a space to study that is suitable to you. The next would be to sort out your timetable, and I know this doesn't apply to everyone. For me, that happens very late, like mid-September, sometimes even like a week before the semester begins. Maybe it's because I'm someone who likes to overthink things and think a lot about things, so I like to think of all the possible options when I am choosing my timetable. But if you are choosing your timetable, then think it through and spend some time on that as well. Look at the academic calendar and note down any dates already if you can. It's best to get that out the way, because often I forget, or as soon as you find out your exam dates, if you know them, write them down as soon as you find out, because I sometimes forgot to write them down and then it would be like the week before the exam and I didn't really know when my exam was, and that's not good. So even if you say to yourself, oh it's fine, I'll remember, you might, but there's a chance that you'll forget, so it's best to write it down. That's to do with exam dates, but the academic calendar as well, just note down any dates, like when the semester begins, any days off that you have, and so on. The next thing would be to get your textbooks. Now this applies if you're a university student or a sixth form or a high school student, because you might need some new revision guides or textbooks or anything like that, and it's best to find out maybe beforehand what you might need. Sometimes you can get them for a reduced price at this time of year, so that's when you can use that advantage and try to get the books that you need. If you're at university, sometimes you won't know until you start the academic year. You kind of can figure out maybe what you need, and to do with that also figure out how your library works, because if you're a university student that's very useful. To be honest with you, I didn't know how the online library worked until like second year. I don't use it, but you know, it's good to know these things. So if your school has a library, try to figure out how it works. If your university has a library and you're a first year, then try to figure out, if you can and you have nothing better to be doing, to figure out how that works. If you have any readings or any work you need to get done before the academic year, now's your time to do that. I never have any readings or anything, but again, if you're interested in how your course works, you can just look up certain things that you want and already find some information, so it saves you time when you don't have the time to do that. Figure out how you're going to organize yourself this year. Sometimes you can do this like in the middle of the year, you realize this revision method, this way I'm organizing myself isn't working, and then you can change that. But my advice would be, don't start the year with nothing, like thinking it's fine, first day, I don't have to study, don't have to do anything. That can turn into a habit and not a good habit, so try not to do that. Try to before maybe think, okay, for this subject I'll be doing this. If you've already decided that you're going to go digital, then that makes sense to then not buy a lot of school supplies. Maybe keep in mind what you want to do if you haven't given it any thought just yet. This kind of applies if you're starting a new place. Try to figure out your travel options. If you already know that you're going to be getting the train or a bus, or you live far away from uni, or you're staying at home, try to figure that out before. As soon as I got my timetable, I would always look up the train system and try to compare it and suit my timetable to that as much as I could. Maybe it's because I'm someone who likes a schedule and I don't like missing the train by 2 minutes, because then I have to wait an hour, so it's good to know that before, because you might not even know if you have to wait for a bus or a train for half an hour. It will just make you feel like if you're in a new situation, it'll make you feel more in control of, I don't know, maybe it's just a thing that I do, but like it won't feel as scary because you know something, you know the train timetable, so you're not worried that you're going to be late. I think the last thing I would say is to write down some goals that you have for yourself for this year. Do you want to do well academically? If so, in what? Do you want to prioritize social life, academics, both? Write some goals for yourself, because that always is motivational, and I think I'm going to do that this year. I do that anyway. One of my goals is pass the semester each semester, but try to get more specific. I always wrote down like grades I wanted to get. Even if I didn't accomplish that, I don't know, it just makes you kind of look forward to a new beginning and a new academic year, and it can bring your focus on that when maybe you've given up on studying halfway through the year. Okay, I think that would be all. There's probably so much more that I could say. I try to keep it general for university, sixth form, high school, anything really. If you have any more advice that you think would be useful to someone, then comment those in the comments. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video. I wish you all an amazing new academic year.